Hello, my name is Aoife O'Brien. I'm Head of Customer Success in EMEA with Delphix. And today I'm joined by Fabio Sanctis, Head of IT Operations with Terna. Welcome, Fabio.
Thank you, Aoife. It's a pleasure for me to join this event with you and with the other participants.
Thank you very much. So for the wider audience, Terna is the 7th largest grid operator in the world and one of the leading grid operators in Italy. The company's mission is to take a leading role in the sustainable energy transition through its innovations, capability and technology to benefit all. And Fabio, who joins me today, has over 25 years of mission critical IT operations in the telco and energy industry. Currently head of IT operations within Terna, but previous to this, headed up hardware and software operations within Terna. Fabio has sat on both sides of the fence, both from an IT operations side and a development side, so is very well positioned to talk to us today about DevOps and the journey that Terna has gone through.
I hope so.
Pretty impressive background. Thank you, Fabio. What I'd like to do is focus maybe on two areas, the modernization of Terna's IT infrastructure, and also the role DevOps has played in Terna's digital transformation. All of us know that there's a big energy transition happening at the moment as we move from fossil fuels to more renewable sources. You've been very well placed with 2 decades plus in the industry. What's your perspective on how that affects IT within Terna?
I think these energy transformations has a deep impact on IT for Terna. Terna is one of the most relevant transmission system operator in Europe. And we manage Italy's high voltage and extra voltage electrical grid with a central role both in electrical operation and market operations. And now we are facing huge transformation related to renewable energies. Focusing on the last years, in the past, Terna manage and control electrical grid with few small, very large power plants up and running. And now we are going to reach thousands and thousands of very small generation plants. So we are not only an operator, but we are also becoming a system enabler. We must guarantee at the same time rock solid resiliency, performance, security for core business application, and new functionality for new application and new use cases, managing a huge amount of data. So IT services need to be more effective, interactive, powerful to support this changing scenario for transmission and system operator, and of course, secure.
So IT operations really are at the forefront of the transformation, so they need to provide that resiliency and stability.
We are a part of the ICT department overall, of course, and we have to cooperate as well as possible with other stakeholders, developers, key user, etc. But obviously, IT operations must guarantee a central role on supporting Terna with rock-solid applications, secure applications, platform processes, tools, etc. Especially in these huge transformations phases.
Absolutely. So that brings me to my next question. Obviously, you sat on both sides of IT operations and developments, and you're a big advocate of DevOps. What drove you to adopt, or what convinced you to adopt DevOps methodology within Terna? It seems obvious, but could you just talk through how you managed to do that?
We are early adopters of DevOps methodological approach. Every day, our business needs new application, new services. So we have to cooperate with development teams for developing, putting in production new services, new application. Every day is simply faster and better. And I'm convinced that the best way to accelerate this process is a deep cooperation between development teams and IT operation specialists. So DevOps, in my opinion, is not simply a question of software, platforms, tools, processes, and technicalities. I think it is fundamentally a methodological approach that deeply involves persons. So every day we encourage data consumers and database administrators to strictly cooperate together. So putting the same team and encouraging cooperation between developers, testers, analysts, data scientists, key users, and on the other side, database administrators, system operators, IT operation specialists, etc.
Fantastic. The topic of data obviously comes up as we are a data company. A lot of companies actually come to us and say, we are now data companies. I'm interested in your insight into what the role data plays within electricity grid management. I'd like to get your perspective on what data challenges you have and how you manage those.
I think it's crucial. Terna is a relevant European transmission system operator. And like other transmission system operators, Terna is becoming day by day more and more a data-driven company, because electrical operations dealing with managing, controlling, defending the national electrical grid are becoming more and more digitalized. Our assets, power lines, substation, etc., are remote controlled, remote managed, and digitalized more and more. And last but not least, all market operations are fully digitalized, native digitalized. So data is fundamental about Terna business. And during this relevant transformation, the amount of data we have to manage is increasing day by day, because all the assets are digitalized. So think about 1,000 kilometers of power lines with all their attributes, electrical attributes, mechanical attributes, temperature parameters, etc. And then think of the substation with all the configurations, hardware, software, all the electrical market operation. All this context and scenario produce day by day a huge increasing amount of data. But from Terna point of view, and especially also from my IT operation manager point of view, data is not only about volume. Data is also about quality, because new use cases, new functionality, new scenarios produce new data types that have to manage with new protocols, new approaches. Application must to interpret. So the ability to manage a huge amount of data with quality is crucial for a data-driven company. And Terna is becoming more and more a data-driven company.
Presumably, I mean, within Terna, you've got very complex eco environments you have to manage. You've got mission critical systems. You need to manage, do root cause analysis very quickly. You need to be predictable. You need to model scenarios and so forth. So all of that is driven by data, right?
Yes, root cause analysis, for example, is critical. when IT operations have to face a problem or an outages, because we manage electrical access of the country. So all the systems and applications we use to support our business is extremely critical. So when we have to face a problem on an outages, the capability to reach the root cause analysis can make the difference between a managed problem or a critical emergency or a disaster. And often problem and issues in a complex application as an ecosystem is related to data and on how interoperating application have to use the data. In this case, the ability to manage virtual databases, sophisticated file systems is crucial to support us and the development teams in finding the eventually cause of some problem. And we measure our ability in minutes when we manage the most critical application for Terna.
Fantastic. So it sounds like there was obviously a business requirement for a data management platform. Can you talk a bit about how implementing a data management Delphix has helped with your day-to-day IT operations?
Yes, I talk about root cause analysis, but this is not the only use case, of course. There are many different data engineers use cases. One of first, of course, is related to application life cycle. Here, an interesting practical example is represented, in my opinion, in the way where how we use with deep technical cooperation Azure DevOps and Delphix, because the capability to manage a life cycle of thousands of lines of code and database structure together at the same time with the same approach can speed up develop a new application and new use cases and support our development teams. And of course, be more agile and creating sophisticated products and services. And last but not least, also optimize cloud adoption, because virtual databases are more portable, more agile than monolithic physical ones. So when you have to plan a new use case in the cloud or moving a traditional application from on-premises on cloud, the capability to manage the most relevant database is an important key factor for the success of that kind of projects.
So my next question actually is, presumably, Fabio, you have to comply with GDPR as well. So masking is key for Terna. Yes,
of course. We have to respect GDPR compliances rules, prescription, etc. And we use DataOps and Delphix, especially in securing the development process, because we use the capability of Delphix to mask data and together with virtualization. So managing virtualization, complex file systems, data and masking at the same time when we produce new environments, new database for test, training, etc. is extremely relevant, because otherwise, without this capability, it could be difficult for our development teams to can test application or run applications on fresh data coming from production, also in development environments.
Fantastic. And so, given you've been on this journey, how have you seen the modernization of Terna's data infrastructure align with the company objectives? What have you been able to achieve with your program of activities?
We used data operations, data virtualization to speeding up the creation of even innovation apps. We started to put together internal specialists and partner external specialists working together in virtual environments we call innovation app, where data are protected and refreshed every day with secure profile access for different stakeholders and the ability to create virtual copies in different heterogeneous scenario. The ability to secure these environments, it's an enabler to put together different stakeholders, especially when these stakeholders are external to Terna. But in many cases, innovation means to cooperate to external stakeholders. And that operation can help company in this kind of scenario. And we used this technology when we create our new innovation apps. In addition, I think that the modernization infrastructure is relevant in mission critical operations. So the ability to prevent outages with modern interoperating infrastructure, the ability to reach the root cause analysis when problems occur as soon as possible is relevant not only from the IT operation point of view, but also from the Terna business point of view in some cases, especially, of course, when related to the mission critical application, controlling, defending, and managing the electrical grid, and supporting the electrical market, day-by-day electrical market operation for Italy, and also when we interoperate with the other markets, with the European electrical markets. And as I discussed before, is relevant the ability to speed time new services in production. And last but not least, I think is a role of IT infrastructure and data operation can be played also in reporting context. In some cases, directly connecting reporting environments with production environment could generate issue problems related to the performance. So when you have the ability to manage the database and create an image when you need and where you need in training, development, or testing environments or in reporting environments without affecting the performance of the production environments, it is very helpful, and it can help also the approach to a data-driven company.
The innovation hubs is quite a good idea. I'm quite interested in that, facilitating the external innovation as well as obviously app acceleration and just resilience as well.
We are working with this new company, in some cases startups company, exactly using our innovation apps, because this company can share with us their competencies and their new approach. But to be practical, useful for Terna, they should be able to work with new approach, but on our own data, historical data, production data, and data for Terna is extremely relevant and extremely critical, especially from cybersecurity point of view.
That's fantastic. You've gone on quite a journey as a team. What next? Do you continue to innovate? Do you rest on your laurels? What's the plan?
Of course, Aoife. The next is continuous improvement and continuous innovation. we are planning to complete our DevOps and DataOps journey with AIOps. I am convinced that AIOps integrated with DevOps, DataOps, and other IT operation tools could be in the future, I hope in the next future, extremely helpful to support IT operation in being more proactive. And of course, in some cases, also in to be more reactive when we have to face root cause analysis. And we are developing this strategy in a hybrid cloud context because Terna manages critical applications. Some of these core critical applications, due to cybersecurity reasons, restriction, etc., must to continuous running on on-premises environments. So we are balancing this strategy with an approach focused on hybrid cloud environments. And we are very focused in use all these approaches with full deep automation. So we try to automate as much as possible all our activities, daily operations, and so on. So IOPS automation, hybrid cloud with DevOps and DataOps is the next, I hope.
It's a fantastic plan. Fabio, thank you very much for your time today. It's been really interesting to understand the Terna DevOps journey. And I look forward to hearing more over the next few months and look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you, Aoife, for the opportunity to share experiences about DevOps, methodology, and especially cultural changes with you and the other participants.
Thank you.